My name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about the geopolitics of the Privacy Shield invalidation. This month, or actually in July, the EU High Court invalidated the Privacy Shield framework, which is a data transfer mechanism from the EU to the US. This was a major deal, not only for the EU and the US, but also for other countries. So to me, it is indicative of tectonic shifts that are happening worldwide about data sharing. The transatlantic trade between the EU and the US is estimated at being $7 trillion a year. So having companies unable to transfer data to the US in legal ways is a big deal. However, there are other countries in the world that have or still have adequate protection as deemed by the EU. Some of those countries are Canada, even though Canada can only do that transfer for commercial use. The Isle of Man, Switzerland, Israel, and a few other countries. So these countries that have still adequate protection may be ones that companies look to if they have to transfer data outside of Europe because of their adequacy and not having to go through the same hoops. So adequacy is a basic baseline level of protection that countries are able to give to the EU assurances about how their data is handled. A lot of it has to do with domestic laws that are not necessarily the same as the EU, but not incongruent. And the really big sticking point is being able to have a mechanism for redress of an individual if they have an issue with data sharing. In addition to the countries that have adequate protection, one country that I think people are looking at very, very closely because of this decision will be the United Kingdom because of Brexit. So because of Brexit, the EU is breaking off from the European Union, but people have been nervous to see what type of data regime that the United Kingdom would address or would adopt that would be so different from the GDPR, which they were part of when they were part of the EU. So currently, the United Kingdom is looking to have an adequacy judgment so that they can actually do this data sharing as well. People are looking very closely at the United Kingdom because they feel as though in some ways the United Kingdom is trying to align themselves more with the US. So if that is the case, especially in some cases where there's data sharing that happened with the United Kingdom that would not have been allowed between the US and the EU, that may be a point of contention. But I think probably the country that will most become in focus because of this data transfer issue will probably be India. So India currently is looking to create a comprehensive data privacy law. A few years ago, they made privacy a fundamental human right, so they have the foundation to be able to create that. They had said many years ago that they did not think they would have a law likely as strict as the GDPR, but not as laissez-faire as the United States. And we're seeing a ton of investment in India. Keep in mind that India is larger than the United States and the EU combined, and they have a ton of investment, as I said, in that country at this time. So it remains to be seen what will happen with this. I think it's going to make life very interesting for companies as they try to do these data transfers. Even if they try to do them to the US, it just gets much tougher depending on the politics and the laws of different countries. That's it. Thank you.